Hey guys, and welcome back to a brand new video. In today's review we're going to be checking out Dragon Star Varnir. Now, a quick little thanks to Reef and Idea Factory for the early review copy, though I do believe once this video is uploaded it should be out in Europe, and I believe it's been out a few days in North America. Now, in this JRPG you play as Sephir, which is a knight. In this game the knights pretty much have the mission of destroying all the dragons and all the witches, because obviously they're seen as bad enemy kind of evil creatures. However, in one of the battles against a really strong dragon, you actually get saved by a witch that will give you some dragon blood to save your life. However, this will convert you into the very first male witch, and this obviously then gets continued by going to live with the witches. And you kind of actually find out that the witches aren't actually all that bad, and they actually have quite a dark future. Since if you are a witch in this world, if you don't want to go mad, you have to drink dragon blood or eat dragon meat. But if you do eat too much dragon meat, you will eventually turn into a dragon. So it's kind of got a bit of a dark and grim story to this game, and it's kind of cool and unique in a lot of ways. I'm not really allowed to talk much about what happens past a certain part of the game, but it's definitely a kind of unique story that I haven't really seen in other games. It's really just dark and kind of, you know, they don't really hold back on a lot of things, especially for this type of anime type game. So as far as gameplay goes, obviously leaving out the battle system, you get a world map. You don't really get to walk around the world map, but you do get to select which location you want to go to. And once you select that location, you can walk around, collect the chests, fight the enemies and all that stuff. And then we also have the hub area, which is the den, which sadly you can't walk around. But at the same time, it's kind of a good thing, because if you just want to quickly pop back, it's really quick. You just go back to the main world map, go to the den on the menu, and then you get these quick menus where you can either buy stuff from the shop, accept side quests. You can look after the younger witches, make sure they don't go mad or turn into dragons. So you got to kind of look after them by feeding them, but not feeding them too much. And then you can kind of romance the adult witches. I wouldn't say quite romance, it's more of like get their affection up by gifting them certain items. Some they'll like, some they won't like. And you kind of unlock their backstory, and you know, they kind of just get closer to you. And you can unlock some secret scenes and stuff like that, so it's kind of cool. There's a lot to do. And also in the hub area you can kind of create these elixirs at the workshop that then will allow you to fight special side battles that then have the chance to drop very unique items. Now, as far as the graphics go, most of it is your typical anime static kind of 2D background with 2D-ish characters, and to be honest, I'm okay with that. I really don't have a problem with this, but sometimes I really think that they don't put enough effort in this game to actually make the background match what's going on. Because I mean, I can't expect them to be changing the background like every second, but sometimes like they literally mention how heavy it's raining and the background's still just exactly the same, it's sunny or whatever. I don't know, maybe I think they should just change, I don't know, just make more backgrounds. So if it's pouring down of rain, actually make sure, you know, it looks like it's raining. And maybe a few just hand-drawn pictures of what's going on sometimes. I don't know, it just seems like it doesn't really match, and they could definitely put more effort into that. Apart from that, the character design is okay, and the characters themselves are quite unique in their own way. And though not all the scenes do have voiceovers, the ones that do are dubbed into English, and the dub isn't amazing or anything like that, but it's okay if you do prefer that over the Japanese voices, so you don't have to read absolutely everything. But you know, the reading part of this game when there isn't voiceover is kind of normal in these games. I think people that do enjoy these type of games are kind of used to that by now anyway. Now obviously let's move on to the battle system, which is obviously the most important thing in most JRPGs. Now this game uses a very basic normal turn-based system. However, the rest is actually quite unique. You have multiple layers, so you can, because everything takes place like flying, even though sometimes it really doesn't make sense when there's like this clearly an enemy without wings that's flying, but you know, apart from that, you have 3 different layers where you can freely move up and down when it's your turn, which is kind of very interesting and tactical, since certain attacks or skills only affect one layer. Some of them do affect multiple. The attacks have certain patterns, so maybe some of them have an L shape and stuff like that. So it's kind of a mixture in between like tactical JRPGs and more classic JRPGs. And you know, you have to keep this in mind for attacking and also defending. Say the enemy's got a fire attack that will affect all of your characters if they're on the same layer, but maybe the turn before that you moved one of the characters up or down a layer, and now that attack will only affect one of your characters. So it's very tactical in that aspect. It's pretty cool, since some of the bosses do actually take up multiple layers themselves and have different parts of their body, and by destroying one part of their body they will lose a specific attack. It is pretty cool. Apart from that, obviously your characters can transform into, or at least unleash their dragon powers once their kind of bar is full, making their attacks stronger and giving them some special skills. You can also play really strategical by placing traps and knocking enemies back into them and stuff like that. But most importantly, in this game you can actually devour or kind of capture dragons, and what that does is the character that devours the dragon will kind of unlock a skill tree, and in the skill tree you'll be able to unlock some passives and just new skills. So you kind of have to calculate who wants to devour which dragon. I believe though if it is a boss, all your characters get it, so you don't really have to worry about that. But it's pretty cool that every single dragon in the game, and like when I say dragon I mean a lot of the normal enemies are also classified as dragons. So a lot of the normal enemies can also be devoured and converted into this unique skill tree for whatever character devoured it. And you know, I think it's definitely a really cool part of the game. And that kind of brings us to the other great part about this game, which is the party customization. Each character can be assigned a support character, which will help out in certain conditions. Each character obviously has their equipment, which includes a sword, different armor sets, obviously a passive like necklace or accessory and stuff like that. But apart from that, each character has their devoured dragons, and each single dragon has a skill tree unique to that dragon. And yeah, that's definitely one of the cooler parts of this game. And really apart from that, we don't have much, because it's a static map. You go to the area, in that area you can find chests. Each witch does kind of have a unique skill that you can use while walking around the areas. Like one of them has an escape ability that will take you back to the world map. Other witch has like an ability that will show some hidden chests. Other witches have abilities like making a bridge over a gap, but you know, that really doesn't go too deep. And yeah, really the battle system is probably 80% of what this game is. And in general, it is an interesting JRPG. So I think from me, I would give it a 7.5 out of 10. And you know, I think it is still for kind of a very specific audience. But if you are into JRPGs and do like a good, nice kind of strategical, complex battle system, I definitely think this is a pickup. So yeah guys, Dragon Star Varnir is now available on PS4. Hopefully this review was helpful. If it was, please give it a like and subscribe. Remember, you can support the channel more directly by clicking the join button down below. We'll see you next time guys.